pregame show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you live on location at Boston Pizza Westgate. Where else? This is the perfect place to begin our coverage of the postseason for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre- and post-game show. We've already got some nasties here. You got Kelvin over my shoulder, his lovely wife, Rob from the Grove, and then Big Uke and his crew already set and ready for tonight's action. It's gonna fill up around here, so we look forward to having a fun night down here at BP Westgate. A bunch of the EST crew will be here. Hernan Salas, who's at EST Global HQ right now, will be coming down. Lieutenant Eric will be hopping on and stopping by. So too will Dusty. And I know YouTube Trev has a table reserved too. So it's going to be a fun time here at Boston Pizza Westgate. If you don't have a spot to go watch the game, come on down, take advantage of the great game day specials and good vibes and great camaraderie as well. GCL Diesel, of course, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Join the conversation. Hit us up on the text line, 780-218-9999, or get into the nasty chat. We want to hear from you. I saw CJ in Chicago. She's like, Tommy, I'm nervous about this one. I think that's a good sign. Maybe natural to have those nerves. Maybe they're good nerves. Gets your game up. You're a little bit apprehensive. You have that edge. That might be a good thing, I'm saying. And I think CJ in Chicago is not the only one with some nerves going into tonight. A guy who is very cool, calm, collected, and laid back today because he just spent 10 days not on air, and most of it in Mexico, is our co-host, Hernan Salas. Welcome back, Nancito. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. What's shaking?
Just ready to go. Let's get this thing going already. It's day 3 of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I watched you guys all last year on that epic run while I was with the Elks, which was great. Now I get to be a part of it. Hopefully it's another long run for the Edmonton Oilers, Tom. This is exciting. There was a buzz here at EST headquarters today.
Yes.
A lot of people stopped by. It was buzzing. Like, everybody was pretty pumped up for this and looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun game, man. It's going to be... I think it's going to be one of the best series of the first round. And I know a lot of people have maybe a little bit of fatigue with this matchup. I don't.
Whatever.
I think it's going to be great, man. I think it's going to be nonstop action. I think it's going to be physical, especially the way the last game ended, Tom.
Yes.
Not ended, but how it played out.
There aren't a lot of guys from that game that are actually playing in this one.
Yeah, no, but like with the nurse hit on Byfield, and then I think the Oilers got 3 players thrown out that game. So looking forward to it, Tom. It's good to be back, and look forward to seeing some nasties down there at BP's Westgate for the first 2 periods, and we'll see what this game brings us.
There have been a lot of jokes about the new poutine here, the maple bacon poutine. I have not been able to escape it. The Buffet Bandit strikes again. That's all I'm going to say. There's a song now about the Buffet Bandit, and we'll leave it at that. We do have a ton of great giveaways tonight, and I'll show you some of them. And then for those that are listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player, I will describe them. Here is the Molson T-shirts, 16 wins to glory in orange, a la the Oilers. So we know Molson's a big proponent of Canadian NHL teams winning the Stanley Cup for the first time since 1993. We've got a bunch of these Oilers corduroy dad hats provided by Molson as well. Really nice there. See the dad hat component. That's good. Tony hooking us up with that. And then we've got a couple of grand prizes as well. We've got these Hockey Night in Canada jerseys that we'll be giving away later on in the night. There's also a bunch of $25 GCs to Boston Pizza Westgate. We're so happy to be here. As always, Tony, Curtis, and the crew have been phenomenal all season long. And, very fitting that we're here for the first game of the postseason, hopefully the first of many. And we are going to be on location a lot this postseason. We've got the on-location schedule on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And Game 2, we will be across the street on Bourbon Street at Hudson's. Game 3 and 4, all home games will be at the Canadian Ice House. We'll be live on location broadcasting from there. And then for Game 5, Hudson's White Avenue. Game 6, obviously being a home game, if necessary, we'll be back at Ice House. And then Game 7, Likely a BP, TBD. We shall see.
Game 7, baby.
For me, yeah. It's going to be awesome. So, without further ado, let's get into it, Hernan. Extended show. We have Dennis Bernstein.
Yep.
We'll be hopping on just after 7 o'clock, around 7:10. And then Cass will be standing by in a couple of minutes here. But we do need to get to the question of the night. We do have lineups to get to as well. Latino Heat, you ready to fire away?
Yeah, I'm sensing a lot of positivity going into this round by the Oilers, which is a good thing, Tom. Of course, you want the fans to be positive. There's a few that are a little worried, but for sure. But since the majority thinks Oilers are going to do well in this series, I want you and put some thought into it. Don't just say it's because they have better players. Just why will the Oilers win this series? Will it be goaltending? Will it be special teams? Will it be they hone in on the defensive details, Tom? Will it be they get secondary scoring? Will it be that one of the, what we're reading, Jay calling it, the Fernando Pisani, who's going to show up and be the Pisani of this team?
Right.
That guy leads the Oilers to victory. So is it going to be coaching? Is Knobloch going to out-coach Hiller? So the question is, why will the Oilers win this series? Because we did a show earlier, tuned into the morning show, the Hangout, then Reed show, and it seems there's a lot of positivity towards the Oilers, which is a good thing. So I want to know why you think the Oilers are going to win, and put some thought into it. 780
show your work
99.99 or on the nasty side. Don't just say because they're better or something like that. Like, hone in on the details, just like we want the Oilers to in the defensive zone. Tom, what say you? I guess we'll start it off with you.
I say the Oilers will win this series in 6 games. It's going to be a great series. There's no easy series in the Western Conference, in my opinion. For the Oilers in particular, I'm not going to say flip the switch. I think that they will awaken in this postseason. I think they're going to win because they know the LA Kings. Really, the LA Kings are not that different from the team that they were last year in the spring, the year prior in the swing. A couple of players that they've added. Yes, Darcy Kemper had a great year, different goalie. The Kings have tried a different goalie and thought they had the solution in goal the last 2 years. Korpisalo, Oilers got to him. Cam Talbot, Oilers got to him. Darcy Kemper, next on the list. I know he has good numbers against Edmonton. He's only faced Edmonton one playoff game when he was with the Colorado Avalanche. Took ice chips into the eye and missed the rest of that series. And the Avs that year, I mean, you could have probably thrown Alexander Georgiev in there and he probably would have had success for crying out loud. But that's how good the Avs were in front of Darcy Kemper. I think he is an upgrade over Cam Talbot. I'm not going to besmirch him as a goaltender. I think he's tremendous. He's become a very solid number one. Obviously, he's won a Stanley Cup, but I still think that the Oilers can get to Darcy Kemper. Mm-hmm. I think yesterday, and I've talked about it, I think yesterday in that Toronto-Ottawa game, you look at Linus Ullmark. Yeah, the Leafs got to him. You know how they got to him? Going east-west, getting him moving. They had the lanes. They took advantage of. They created lanes against Ottawa, and they took advantage. And I think the Oilers can find a way to do the same against Darcy Kemper. Now, the Kings are probably saying that about Stu Skinner. He's going to give us a bad one every night. We can get to him. The defense isn't that good. So there's a counter to that. But I do think the Oilers know this Kings team. They're confident against this Kings team. And then listening to Connor McDavid yesterday, like he had this like pissed off attitude. Like, yeah, we know these guys. Like I listen to him. I look at his body language. I perceive him to be like, just let us go to work here. And we'll see if the Oilers can do that. McDavid and Draisaitl leading the charge. That's the sentiment I have in regard to this series and why the Oilers will win. I'll be positive about it. If they don't, guess what? I'll eat crow. Maybe they have an early exit to the postseason. I don't think that's going to happen. I will happily eat crow and go golfing every second day this spring, which I did not get to do last year. I'd rather watch them and cover them on an extended playoff run. But if they don't, you know what? We'll talk about it. We'll break it down. We'll have a ton to discuss. But I still think they're going to be pretty good. What say you, Hernan?
Yeah, well, Tom, and again, I of course I want the Oilers to win. Of course, I think they can win. But I did pick LA in 7.
What?
I just think
what is wrong with you?
There's this team. There's just something off. I know they've had a ton of injuries or rest, whatever you want to call it. There's so many conspiracies that they weren't hurt and they're just resting. Blah blah blah. I'm concerned about the goaltending. Listen, Tom, Matthias Ekholm was an enormous loss for the Edmonton Oilers.
That's fair. Yeah, I get that.
It's an enormous loss. And I'm not. Darnell Nurse has been excellent. Jake Wallman's been a nice addition. I'm just a little concerned about the defensive core as well without Matthias Ekholm. I just think there's something off right now. Now, just because I'm saying that doesn't mean they can't go out and win the game. They're getting Trent Frederick, a guy that's played a whole 7 minutes for the Oilers. I think he can be a game changer. I think you're seeing Arvidsson and Skinner come on at the right time. So there is positives. But if the Oilers are going to win this series, I think it's going to come down to Stuart Skinner out-dueling Darcy Kemper. And listen, Kemper, I wouldn't call him a Connor Hellebuck, Vasilevsky, anything like that. But he's been there. He's done it. He's proven it. He's got really good numbers against the Oilers. Stuart Skinner has had a down season. Let's just call it how it is, Tommy. He's had some really good games. He's been up and
mediocre.
Down. Yeah, mediocre. Yeah. Sure. But I just think Stuart Skinner has to all-duel him here. LA doesn't give up a lot, so Stuart Skinner's going to have to hold the fort. So that's where I'm at. I think this comes down to Stuart Skinner. I think he is enormous in this series. And there's a bunch of other players I can bring up too, but we said just one, and I think Stuart Skinner is the big one here. If he can all-duel Darcy Kemper, the Oilers will win.
Text us your thoughts, 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Our game analyst, Matt Kassian, will be stopping by in a couple of minutes for Game Changers. Dennis Bernstein from Crypto.com. Marina, I'm going to get to a couple of texts here. Ken out of LA, new to our station. Welcome, Ken. Texted in during the hangout earlier. What he texted in earlier was, oh no, the big bad Oilers. Signed, Ken. Then he just replied minutes ago, 2 of the top 5 no cups for the Oilers since 1990. I call them a bust. Signed, Ken. Jeff from GP says, let's go, Oil. I'm super pumped. Maple Jet says, LG Cup Run 2025 starts now. Tube Sock says, not going to lie, Tommy, as a guy who's been a dad for 23 years now, the term dad hat has always offended me, as I would never wear such a style. And he also says, have a great show and enjoy your evening. Signed, Steven, a.k.a. Tube Socks. The dad hat thing it's like a trend, and my brother loves dad hats. They're very in. This one's a corduroy dad hat. I understand, Steven. I apologize for offending you calling it a dad hat because you have been a dad for 23 years. Keep those coming in, 780-218-9999. Cass, we're good to go with Cass, Hernan?
Yeah, I'm just cropping him in here. He had
okay, sounds good.
Him, then we lost him. Now we have him. So
okay. As we welcome in Cass, I'm going to also bring this up because they have a great giveaway here at Boston Pizza between this location here at Westgate, 170th and 90th Ave, Hamptons BP. Curtis says they're getting everything fixed up over at Hamptons BP after another vehicle hit it. Unfortunate. Yeah, that's unreal. And then Bourbon Street. The Twin Anchors Houseboat giveaway. It goes from now until May 4th. Every customer gets an entry, no purchase necessary. So that's going to be good. You love houseboating, you love BPs, put them together, come on down, get your entry in, no purchase necessary. They're doing it until May 4th, and then they'll have their draw, and somebody is off to a great houseboat vacation with Twin Anchors and BP. Absolutely tremendous. All right. Let's get Cass in here. He's our game analyst. He is Matt Kassian as we bring you Game Changers, which is brought to you, as always, by Damon Bunting, Damon Bunting Real Estate. He is now with The Agency. Damon Bunting has also been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He's community-driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city, so check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Hello, Cass. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little playoff hockey, Tommy. Been a little fun watching some of the games and looking forward to this one tonight. The Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings again in the first round. But Tom, I'm good. I'm excited for this one.
Do you have nervous energy as well? There are some out there with nervous energy that are concerned about this Oilers team and maybe are worried that this is the year the Oilers lose to the LA Kings.
Yeah, not yet. I had nervous energy about a week ago, kind of right towards the end of the regular season, and then it's been pretty good, and I feel good right now. We'll see as we inch closer and closer to puck drop, maybe a little bit of nervous energy, but for now it's just excitement. You know, I want to see a good series. I want to see two teams play well, and just want to see good hockey, Tommy. So right now, not nervous, just excited.
This is the 11th time the Oilers and Kings meet in the postseason. Edmonton 8-2 in those series. So maybe history's on the Oilers side, and it'll carry over this spring. All right, Cass, let's get into point number 1 of Game Changers as we get set to start another one of these battles between the two Pacific Division rivals. Click quick, you say.
Yeah, click quick. Little mix-up on the lines for the Edmonton Oilers, and we don't still fully, truly, absolutely know what those lines are going to look like heading into this one with Trent Frederick in particular. I'm assuming, Tommy, he's probably going to be back. Probably. Don't know with absolute certainty, but probably going to be back. But a little bit of a mix-up from the lines from what we've seen in the last little while. Now, obviously, a big part of that is because bodies are finally available. People are finally healthy. And wouldn't you know, the guy we thought that might start with McDavid in Jeff Skinner for his first ever playoff game gets bumped down to the third line. All the way down there with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and potentially Trent Frederick. So we'll see how that pans out. But regardless of whether Frederick plays or not, and if they maybe mingle things a little bit as we head into warm-up, we will see. We're wanting to see some of that quick groove being hit by the Edmonton Oilers, some of that meshing and that gelling. Would really not want to see Knobloch have to go to that, I don't want to say dreaded nuclear option, but to the nuclear option early in this series, right? Like we want to see this group, whoever he deploys out here, whatever this lineup actually does truly look like when they hit the ice here, want to see them find some consistency to it and to be able to click quickly. We haven't seen, I don't know if we've seen this year, if it does end up being Hyman McDavid and Connor Brown. I don't know if we've seen that group, Tommy. I'm trying to.
Yeah, maybe by accident a couple of times. It doesn't ring a bell off the top of my head, but
yeah, very, very few. Now the Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, we've seen that one a bunch, and we've seen it be really good. And I think we've seen it be kind of okay. And mostly it was good because of Draisaitl, and mostly it was just okay because of Draisaitl and, pulling the other two up. But Arvidsson recently has been playing much, much better, finding the back of the net, finding a little bit more consistency to his game. So I'm just hoping for all these guys and RNH on the third line, maybe even more than those top two, to say that, hey, there's some opportunity with the depth at forwards. If Ryan Nugent-Hopkins can drive some offense, and if it does end up being with Skinner and Frederic, hey, that could be a line that could make the difference. So just hoping for however it absolutely pans out here heading into this game one, Tom, that chemistry is sparking, that it's lighting up, that they're feeling it early on.
Find that groove, like you said, Cass. How about on the back end, though? I mean, we're probably, and I'll go through the lineups later on in the show when we get an idea from warm-up, but we're anticipating Nurse with Bouchard, Kulak, who just had a baby. Congratulations to Brett and his wife and his family on the arrival of the newborn. Kulak with Wallman, and then Dineen likely in. And if he does go instead of Brown, which I think is the right move to make anyway, he'll probably be paired up with Emberson. What about clicking quickly on defense, Cass? Because that third pair especially, like, I'm not besmirching Cam Dineen by any means, because I think when he's been called up and played, he's done a good job. He doesn't seem to have any trepidation or second guessing himself when he has the puck. But still, like, that's a good AHL defenseman that you're going to lean on instead of a guy like Ekholm, who's your best defenseman on the team, and he's not available too.
Yeah, that defensive depth really shines through on this one. You're going to see a lot of Noose Bouchard and a lot of Kulak Wallman. Now of that, hopefully Evan Bouchard can hit his playoff form that we saw last year and hit it early, where he was absolutely spectacular last year. And if he does that again, and if Darnell Nurse plays like he's played all season, which has just been stable, steady, consistent, and solid, then that first pairing you're not worried about. Now, I know that people, based on some of Evan Bouchard's whoopsies moments in the defensive zone, a lot of whoopsies, there's some nerves around that, and I think that's fair to have that. But we also have to have some hope here that he can play like he played last year in the playoffs, because we've seen him do it. So if they're able to do that, you're not worried about that first pair. That second pair, Well, Wallman, you're coming back from injury here. Now, we don't know exactly how bad it was. We don't know if it's 100%. Like we just don't know because they don't really tell us. But that's the one, Wallman in particular, where we're looking at, okay, here's a guy probably playing on his offside, and there might be some interchanging there. Kulak will sometimes play on the right side too. So it could be guys that it's like whoever's back first, is going to that right side is going to take the right side. But to look at Wallman and say, well, he hasn't played in a little bit here. He's coming back from injury, and the ask is going to be huge because you can't rely on that third pairing. And I agree with you. Denis's been fine. Mm-hmm. Emerson has improved over the course of the year and been okay, but it's not a third pairing that you want to, have end up out there against Kopitar or against Byfield or against Fiala or against Kempe. Like, you want to try to protect those guys, which means that top pairings are going to be playing a ton. Puts a lot of pressure, I think, on Wallman. Kulak, yeah, I know there's the baby. I'm not worried about him at all. Adrenaline will be fine for him. And he has shown time and time again that he is a playoff performer. And games get big. Kulak gets big too. Like that guy is a playoff player. Like, he just finds another gear and plays really well. So I'm not worried about him. I mean, to me, if not just for this game, but even maybe for the series, so much of it hinges on Wallman. And we'll have to see, Tommy, as you said, some of that quick chemistry and that gelling and that coming together and clicking quickly for Kulak and Wallman, absolutely on the back end.
Click quick is point number one of Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. All right, Cass, number two, PK aggression.
Yeah, the Los Angeles Kings, Tom, they have a very aggressive penalty kill. And I think, to me, if we go back to the Edmonton Oilers winning this series in 5 games last year, such a huge part of that was their penalty kill's ability to completely stifle the Los Angeles Kings, and their power play's ability to overcome dramatically the Los Angeles Kings penalty killing. And I think one of the shifts that you've seen from the LA Kings this year is that their the aggression level on their penalty kill has upped a bunch. Like, they are trying to be a little bit more pressure, go 1, go 4, which what I mean when I say go 1, go 4 means if one guy goes, everybody goes. Like, really trying to seal off the puck, push it to the outside and trap the puck down low to the corners. And they've done a pretty good job of it over the course of the season. And I'm just interested to see how Edmonton responds and how their puck movement executes on the power play. For a power play that was still good on the year, had some moments where it wasn't good, had some moments where it was great, but hasn't played together in a while. It's going to be a little bit of a test because you're going to have a heavy amount of pressure from the Los Angeles Kings. Like, this isn't going to be a game or a series where you're going to have plenty of opportunity to settle into the power play. You haven't been settled in on this thing because you haven't had a chance to play together outside of practice. And I know you get reps in and you do all that, but it's different. And it's different when you're going up against the full-fledged aggression. So I think for Edmonton, their ability to deal with the aggression of the Los Angeles Kings on the penalty kill is going to be pretty big, not just tonight, but just heading into the series.
Edmonton on the penalty kill finishes up the season 16th overall in the NHL, 78.2% with 5 shorthanded goals. That is a pleasant surprise considering how bad it was for the first, let's say, 4 months of the year. It had a little burst, I think around November, December, where it got better, had a nice stretch of 7 or 8 games, and then it was leaky again, and then in the last 2 months really cleaned things up. We'll see if the Oilers can get back to that best PK in the playoffs like it had last year. The Oilers on the power play finished up the season 12th, like Cass was talking about, didn't have a good run towards the end when guys were hurt. Best guys were out of the lineup. It ended with a 23.7% conversion rate. The Kings, meanwhile, on the power play, not great, 24th in the NHL when all was said and done, 18.8%. The Kings PK, though, 8th overall in the NHL through the regular season at 81.4% with 4 shorthanded goals scored. Advantage Edmonton or advantage LA going into this one when it comes to specials, Cass?
Yeah, you cut out on my screen for a second, so I missed the very last part of what you said.
Which team has the advantage on specials going into the series?
If we look, Yeah, I was just about to go that way, so I
sorry.
I heard enough to get it correctly.
That's how you and me
I think
click quick.
Power play in particular.
I think we lost. Nope, he's still there.
Oh, did we lose Cass? All right, he's muted now. Let's let him get sorted out. I'll get to some text in the meantime. Natso, just chime in when he's good to go while I read the text. All right. Oh, you're back? You good to go?
No, he's frozen again. It's kind of it's coming. It's kind of like in and out right now. The feed, so
it's choppy. Cass, reconnect, and we'll get back to you when it's all clear, because it is a little choppy on your end right now. Let's go to Dan, who texts in and says the Oilers will win because all the big dogs are rested, a.k.a. McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, and Skinner, etc. Maple Jed texting and says, how big of a factor will it be for the Kings to not be able to game plan for an Oilers roster that is such a mystery? And Maple Jed also adds, the Oilers will win in 4 because they will dominate 5-on-5. They finally have a solid top 3 lines. Bookkeeper Bill texting in and says, Bookkeeper Bill from Ottawa, my 3 top keys for the Oilers are team health. Everyone can stay healthy, much better chance to win. 2, Trent Frederick. If he can be effective, he's a wild card. LA could not prepare for. And then Bouchard playing defense. Don't give LA a goal a game. That's from Bookkeeper Bill out of Ottawa. You got Sean texting in, says the Oilers will win this series because they will outscore the Kings. The Zebra doesn't change its spots. The Oilers won't out-defend the Kings. They can outscore them, though. That one from Sean. Justin says, Tony, I'll golf with you every other day. No problem. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. And then Joel, in all caps, no surprise there, says, why do they even put out lines? It's never that way anyway. I think he picks names out of a hat. Thank you, Joel. I tried to read that in all caps as well. Cass is reconnecting now. Cass, give me a thumbs up if you're good to go.
No, he's
all right.
Hold on. He's back. I just got to get him back into the screen.
Okay, we're gonna do that. I'll read a couple more, and then when he's good to go, we will get back to Cass. Bad Billy says the Oil will win in 6. They know the Kings and know how to play them, and Skinner will be great. P.S. McDavid and Draisaitl will get to Kemper. McDavid is pissed. And then Juan says, Oilers are going to win the series because they can hear the doubters. Henrique is my Pisani pick. Don't think he's going to score 14 goals, but I have a feeling he's going to be clutch. Oops. Oilers in 5. That one comes in from Juan. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Hit that thumbs up. We've got 200 people watching, which is fantastic. Probably way more listening, as is usually the case. And we want to hear from you. There he is. Cass is back. Question of the night. Why will the Oilers win this series? That's via the Latino Heat. Show us your work. Let us know why. Like those great texts that we read out there. All right. Welcome back, Cass. We're talking about clicking quick. And then where did we end it off before it cut out on you?
We just got through the aggression on the special teams, or on LA's PK aggression. Yeah.
And then I threw it to you before the connection got a little wonky there. I said, which team going into this playoff series has the better momentum or the advantage on special teams?
Yeah, and I think the Edmonton Oilers do, Tom. I think the Edmonton Oilers have a better special teams, both on the power play if they're executing well, and penalty kill, as you said, it's been impressive where they've got to based on how they started the year. And so there's been some decent momentum on that. And that maybe a little bit more of a toss up between the two, maybe slight advantage LA on the penalty kill, but I would say there's a heavy advantage to the Edmonton Oilers on their power play. McDavid and Draisaitl being there. So from the special team standpoint, I lean towards the Edmonton Oilers.
Fair enough. All right. It is Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Point number 1 was click quick. Point number 2, PK aggression. All right, Cass. Number 3 tonight, create doubt.
Tremendous opportunity here, Tom. You have the LA Kings, who were fantastic at home this season, that are the higher seed this season, that outplayed you, I would say, in the season series this season, that maybe are feeling like they're going to win this series and are heading into this with some confidence especially just that being at home and now trying to. And I agree with you. It's always been every year. It's been like, oh, now they got the goalie. Oh, now they got the goalie. Oh, now they got the goalie. And they're saying it again. Oh, now we got the goalie. For the Edmonton Oilers, this first game, I think, is so absolutely critical. And I know they've been average to below average in first games in series for whatever reason. But to me, it's so crucial for this series because I think you can create all kinds of doubt. Like if LA, for as good as they've been at home all season, for as much as they liked finishing ahead of the Edmonton Oilers, I think you can create some doubt. And I know there's been turnover on both teams from a roster standpoint. There always is. But for players that have been around in that LA Kings dressing room, if Edmonton can come out today and they can make everything so difficult, and if they can make life a nightmare for Kemper around the net, and they can bury some goals and put on pressure early to where LA has trouble dealing with Edmonton Oilers attack, Tommy, I think you can create a lot of doubt. And I think that doubt will spill over from game 1 to 2 to 3 and beyond. Like if you win in convincing fashion, and every game is its own game in the playoffs, and I get it, you can change game to game. But I just feel like you have the opportunity in LA here to be complete heartbreakers, like to crush the hope of, oh, we can win this series. Oh, this series is different. Like, creating some of that doubt, just the little tickle in the back of their brains. It's just going to nag at guys. It's going to have them to question everything and to be defeated mentally. I think you have the opportunity to start to build that. So it's huge, Tom. As always, like I think this first games always matter, but I feel like this one matters more for LA. And what I mean by that is like if LA wins this game 1, I think it's a lot easier for Edmonton to rebound for game 2 than it is for LA to rebound for game 2. And that just, to me, goes back to the history of the last couple years where they, I think, would struggle a little bit with that and feeling their own narrative that way, where if LA wins first, not that I hope that they do, but I feel that Edmonton was just have an easier time bouncing back for game 2.
That is Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting. Real estate, click quick, PK aggression, create doubt. Share your thoughts, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. I want to get the Latino heat back in here. Nancito, good to have the three of us reunited. It feels so good. What do you got for Cass tonight?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just getting the 3-shot ready.
Oh,
I was not ready for it. Here we go. What's up?
There you are, looking good. Look at that. He's got a bit of a glow to him, that Mexican sun.
The Mexican sun is good, boys. It's good. Cass, you were talking about Connor Brown earlier. I didn't want to jump in. I kind of said it. Like, listen, I know recently they've had some success with Connor McDavid, but I mean, is Connor Brown kind of your second? Because Hyman's your first choice. Like, for me, I don't like Connor Brown with Connor McDavid. Do you share that sentiment, or you would have went elsewhere?
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of go with the last little bit, and I know the first draw for most people is going to be just throw Hyman back in there, and I understand that, but there's a big part of me that's like Skinner, McDavid, and Brown had looked pretty good the last couple of weeks, and part of me is like, why wouldn't we start with Skinner, McDavid, and Brown on that top line, and if Frederick is able to go, have Hyman, Nuge, and Frederick on a line.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, you have some stability there from a defensive standpoint with Ryan Nugent Hopkins, but then you have some guys that can dog the puck a little bit with Frederick and Hyman, and guys that are going to be around the net. And all of a sudden, like, that to me is like, that's a line that could be a nightmare to play against. And all of a sudden that's your third line. And maybe from an advantageous standpoint, you could have that group going. So I was kind of thinking that that's what they were going to run with. Now, if Brown isn't in that position, like here's where I like Brown when he's playing his best with McDavid. Kind of jumping thoughts here, but
go for it.
I like Brown's speed with McDavid. Not that I expect him to be carrying the puck through the neutral zone, but he does have, using his speed, the ability to break up plays on the forecheck.
Yeah.
And that is something that McDavid likes having on his line. Like, he likes guys that force turnovers and force poor plays by the other team off the forecheck. And I think Connor Brown at his best gives you that, but he's got to be at his best there to be able to do it. So I don't mind having him there. There's a couple different looks you could go with. again, like we don't really know exactly what we're going to see till they hit the ice here, though.
Cass, and one more for you. We've talked a lot about the Oilers and who needs to step up. When you look at the Kings, outside of Kempe, Kopitar, obviously, and to a certain extent, Byfield, because I think this is coming out party. Like, he's been really good this year. He's really taking the next step. But when you look at their forward group, who's an X factor for you for the LA Kings?
Right now, Oilers fans aren't going to like this. I think you probably know where I'm going with this. I think Warren Foegele is an X factor right now. And the reason I think Warren Foegele is an X factor, I mean, we talk about Connor McDavid or Connor Brown being a guy that can disrupt on the forecheck. Warren Foegele is tailor-made to mess with the defense of the Edmonton Oilers. Like, you want to talk about a guy that could give Evan Bouchard fits over a series? It's a guy like Warren Foegele who can be all over you, who's fast, who can be aggressive off the forecheck, who's going to force you. And by the way, he's practiced against you a million times. Well, million's a little hyperbolic, but
feels like a million times.
Yeah, it feels like a million times. The past couple of years, so he's very familiar with you and comfortable playing against you. Like I kind of go Warren Foegele is, and I would second that with Philip Deneau second. It's kind of greasy guy that can play that defensive gritty role. And, it's an interesting matchup if that's the group that ends up going against Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' line, whoever ends up on that, because you could have two lines that both have the capacity to really be a difference maker in the series. But yeah, I'm gonna go primarily with Warren Foegele is a guy that could be the X factor, just in terms of the fits and turnovers that he could force from a defensive group that you're going to be relying on the top two pairs quite strongly.
Cass, you're just trying to stir up. That's all.
I'm not just trying to stir it up. I believe it. I think it's true.
I know. As soon as you said it before you went in, I was like, oh, here we go.
Hey, we had John Hoven on, and he said for him it's either Byfield or Foegele as well.
Right. They love Foegele down in LA. They just love him, and he had another career year, which is tremendous. Speaking of Foegele, where did this beef with Matthias Janmark come from? Do you guys recollect anything? Because Janmark wanted some of Foegele that last game. And I'm like, I thought they liked each other. I never saw them or heard of anything between them. But where does that come from, Kaz? You played in the league. Like, were there frenemies on your teams that you played with and against? Like,
yeah, you can. You get in fights with your friends. I mean, like, it's like family. Sometimes you get upset with your family, you get in fights. I mean, Tommy, I know you lost every fight you had with your with the other Gazzola boy, but like,
yeah, right. Now you're really stirring up.
But sometimes guys fight, and yes, maybe you got along and maybe you were good, but then all of a sudden you're playing against them, and then everything they did that you loved that helped you like them, that just bugs you and makes you want to hit them more, and that could be it. But yeah,
I love that description.
Yeah, apologies, Paulie, but Tommy probably. Well, maybe I'll call it 50-50. I'll say it's 50-50. It's a toss-up.
I'm glad how you just went to Paulie. Everybody always forgets about my other brother, Mike. He lives in Calgary, but well played, Kaz. Well played. I like that. All right. You want to give a prediction, Kaz, or do you want to leave that?
For the game? Oh, yeah. Man.
Or end the series. I don't know. If you don't want to, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to predict the game. I'll go the series. I think it goes Edmonton in 7 for the series.
Wow.
Originally, I was at Edmonton in 6. I'm thinking Edmonton in 7 today, but that could change. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Cass, another great edition of Game Changers brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. I will see you on the post-game show.
Sounds good, fellas.
There you go. There's our game analyst, Matt Kassian, helping us get set for the Oilers and the Kings. Game 1, 4th straight spring. You can text us if you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player, 780-218-9999. And then if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like. We appreciate it. And then get into the nasty chat as well. He is a LA Kings insider. It's a rite of passage in the spring to have Dennis Bernstein on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show for this series. DB at Crypto.com Arena smiling. Did they crank it up in there? They're ready for the playoffs in LA, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It must be April, Tommy. We're talking every other day now. It's fantastic. So
this is a good thing. Yeah,
it's dialed up. Yeah, there's a high level of expectations from everyone in Los Angeles. The fans, the players, and probably the coaches. It's just a different mindset this year, Tommy. They really believe they could beat the Edmonton Oilers this time around.
I know you and I talked about that in the press box, so let's dive in. Maybe we'll allow people into the conversation that we had, but we'll go with this thought. I thought to myself as I was preparing for this series, are the Kings over infatuated with beating the Oilers, kind of like they were 2 seasons ago? If I threw that out to you, DB, what would you say?
No, because they haven't talked a lot about the Oilers, because we've known for, a month that this was going to be a matchup. It's been very little talk other than the game they actually played against the Oilers, the 2 games. But no, Tommy, I wouldn't say that. I think what they're infatuated with is stopping their power play in this series. Because if they don't, they're going to go home for a 4th straight time after the first round.
What happened with the Kings PK this season, DB? Because Cass and I and Hernan, we were looking at the special teams. Their PK was rock solid. It was the power play for the Kings that had some struggles. But what is it about the Kings PK that clicks?
They changed. It went from a box to a diamond. And more importantly, Tommy, they're way more aggressive. Like last year, they sat in a box and let Connor and Leon destroy it. And, they took that lesson and said, okay, we got to change that. Not only just to play the Oilers, but the other teams. And it's just been a more aggressive team. Plus, they have better players out there. Right. You have, Quentin Byfield's killing penalties all the time. And he's 6'5" and 220 out front. His wingspan's about 7 feet. So it's a little bit different personnel. Plus, you've got a guy like Joel Edmondson back there who's a plus 27. That's obviously not the power play. Better personnel, better design, and I think just more aggressive. The mindset's different because they know they have to be better or else, like I said, they won't emerge victorious in this round.
Okay, that's a fair point, and we'll see how it all plays out. I love this element of the game and the dark arts that we've kind of had going into this series. Other things that we have discussed, DB, going into this series is difference makers. For the Oilers, people are looking at guys like Connor Brown. What will Trent Frederick bring to the table? How will the defense hold up? What about Jake Wallman? That's Edmonton's side of things. On the LA Kings side, in your opinion, who will be LA's difference makers? We know the usual suspects: Kopitar, Ageless Wonder, Kempe is an Oilers killer, but which other guys are going to be counted on or will rise to the occasion, in your opinion?
I think for once, Tom, to be honest with you, the Kings have better depth at forwards. They have more 20-goal scorers. They had 2 35-goal scorers in Fiala and Kempe, but the guy who's really galvanized things since the trade deadline, which very few people said. They said they saw this guy coming out of the blue and really helping his team offensively. It's Andrei Kuzmenko. It's a different team with them. So when you look at the power play percentages, right? I know on other shows the power play percentages, the power plays are good. Nope. Since the trade deadline, Tom, it's a dangerous power play because Kuzmenko's a right-hand shot, something they didn't have since they traded Gabe Vilardi. More flow to the game. He's more shifty. You have to account for that player. So teams can't just lay back and maybe play a man on Kempe or a man on Kopitar. They have to look out for everybody on the front wall, and they play 5 forward sometimes. So it's going to be incumbent upon Edmonton to be disciplined when they're man short, and they got to get saves from Stu also when it's 4-on-5.
Dennis Bernstein joining us now, our LA Kings insider, out of the 4th period as we get set for Game 1. DB, you and I had a great conversation talking about the difference between the Kings at home versus the Kings on the road, and I said, why are the Kings having a lack of success on the road compared to at home? And you had a great answer. So I'll start with this. How much of an advantage is starting this series in LA compared to years past where it was in Edmonton?
When you lose 3 series in a row in 3 consecutive years, Tom, you need every mental advantage you can get. So they feel better about themselves because they have Game 70 potentially in Los Angeles. That's a plus for LA. Does it make a difference? No, because Tom, here's the thing about home ice. Right? I'll talk about why they might be so good at home. In every one of the 3 series, at some point in the series, the Kings had home ice. You know why? They split every time in Edmonton. So they went home for Game 3, best of 5 with 3 home games. Couldn't get it done. So how big of a factor is? Well, if they run the table at home in the first round, then they're going to go on because they'll win 4 games. It's not as big as some people might say. I think just mentally, the mental approach for the Kings, let's think about how many advantages we can have mentally before we step on the ice for Game 1. With respect to why they're so good at home, Tom, I'll be honest with you. Nobody knows. They don't know. They guess. Oh, the fans. Yeah, okay, great. The fans. There's great fans all the way around the league. And there's some teams that have won like 13 games at home. Right, Chicago. I mean, the UC in Chicago used to be a great home rink. Look at that team; they never win at home, right? So I think part of it is the difference between home and the road. There's still a defensive first team. They're a better offensive team. They've been better on the power play. It's still defense first. And when they don't play well at home, they don't give up much. So after one period, let's say the Edmonton Oilers outshoot them tonight, 12-5. I'll bet you the game's 0-0. When they fall behind 1 goal or even 2 goals on the road, it's tough for them because it's not their DNA. They're not a come-from-behind team. There are a lot of teams that aren't. The team they face tonight is certainly a come-from-behind team, but I think they just don't give up a lot, and that's why Darcy Kemper's in the conversation for the Vezina right now, and why they've been so great defensively is that they just don't give up a lot of high-danger chances. It's incumbent upon the Oilers to open them up and see if they can get more high-danger chances than they have during the regular season series.
Dennis Bernstein with us from the fourth period from Crypto.com Arenas. We get set for Game 1 of this Kings-Oilers series. All right, DB, should Oilers fans actually be worried about this Kings team? Why is this year different than the previous 3?
No, they should be worried about that team and their own team. Okay, so look, Mattias Ekholm is a huge loss. Connor's talking brave. We're not really that banged up. Yeah, you are. If that guy's home in Edmonton, which he is, you're banged up. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I think the key to it is the bottom 4D, right? Wallman, Kulak, Emberson, Josh Brown, who hadn't played a month in Bakersfield before he stepped on the ice here in LA. That's going to be matchup problems for Edmonton. And usually going into a series, Tom, it's usually the other way around. Matchup problems are usually with LA, but the LA Kings have had 6 defensemen. They aren't banged up on the blue line. The only injury they have is Danilo. And just mathematically, Tom, at some point you got to lose a series to the same team. Right? Not that math figures in here. Look, I think the Oilers are going to have to be over 30% on the power play and draw a lot of power plays if they can do that, find a way. But Tom, I think Oilers fans are kidding themselves. This is not the same team that went to Game 7 last year against the Florida Man. It's not. Could they do it again? Sure they could. And I've been joking. If they get out of this round with the supporting cast the way it is, I'd be worried about Connor and Leon's back because both backs would be hurting if they're carrying this roster out of this round. But it wouldn't surprise me if they do. But yes, you should be worried. If you think it's the same Kings team, don't make that mistake. It's not the same Kings team because they're better offensively, they're deeper, they're bigger physically, and they're badder. Like, look at the guys they brought in, right? They brought in Edmonton, who's 6'6" and 230. He replaces Andreas Englund, who's an 8th defenseman, right? They brought in Darcy Kemper, who's better than Cam Talbot, right? They brought in Warren Fogle, who I'm sure people in Edmonton would love to have him on their team tonight, instead of a guy like Carl Grunstrom. And not only that, Tom, I've talked about this. Not only did they beat them pretty good last year, they bullied them. And so when you see Janot getting acquired, and you see, last year, I've been joking with people this last couple of days. The 4th line center for the Kings last year was Blake Lizotte. He's 5'9" and 170 pounds. Tonight, it's Sammy Helenius. He's 6'6" and 205. They might lose. They're not going to get bullied. They're not going to get pushed around. So the team you see on the ice is not the same team for the last 3 seasons, and probably is the best chance to beat the Oilers. But when you look at the markets, the betting markets, it's about a toss-up because that's the strength of 29 and 97. And could they carry them again? Yeah, but it's a very different series, Tom. This is a much better team. They should be worried about the Kings. It's not going to be a breeze like it was last year.
I love it. Natso, anything for DB?
No, it's great to see you, DB. Enjoy the game tonight. I'm sure we'll have you on soon, and we'll see you here in Edmonton when Tommy buys a round.
Oh yeah, all the flights are booked and the hotels are booked, and all my friends in LA say hopefully it's only one trip to Edmonton, not for Game 6, but we'll see. But yeah, you know what? I don't have any matchup fatigue. This is still a great matchup with star players. The fan bases really dislike each other, so I expect a great series between these two teams.
DB, I predict 2 trips for you, and the second one is we're seeing a handshake as the Oilers knock off the Kings. That's my prediction. What do you think for this series?
I think there'll be a handshake in Game 6, but the other team will be happy to shake their hands. I think they're a little reversed. So I think 6 games as well, but I think Kings find a way. And from a Kings standpoint, if they're on that team in that room, what would be better than being the Edmonton Oilers in their rink for Game 6 to finally slay the dragon? So we'll see.
Yeah, well, I know a few Kings staff and players would be very happy to do that for sure. DB, awesome stuff. Enjoy the game. I look forward to hopefully catching up with you going into Game 2.
Sounds great, Tommy. It's a date. Always great being on EST. Thanks for the time.
That is Dennis Bernstein, the best from the fourth period. We love him. And giving his prediction. So he's saying Kings in 6. I say Oilers in 6. Nat, so you're saying Kings in 7. Ooh-wee. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. And a lot of some people are texting in that Byfield's the same player as last year. He is not. If you've watched Byfield play, he's a better player. And sure, the points might be the same. He started really slow, Tom, this year. Really slow, but I think Byfield's going to be a menace in this series. I think he's going to be really good. I think Darnell Nurse and him are going to battle it out. I think it's going to be key. We're about 10 minutes away from the teams hitting the ice, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I know and can confirm, because we think it's going to be Dineen over Brown.
But there is a chance Brown does play. Yeah. Dineen's the better choice, in my opinion. I have people from the team saying they think it's going to be Dineen or expect Dineen to play. So it's not an ideal situation, regardless of who goes in, Tommy. I'm kind of with you, though. Like, Dineen gets around better. He's got a better pass. And I think against a team like this is what I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to ask you and Cass, but I totally forgot. So, regardless, Emberson is going to be there with Brown or Dineen. There's no way they're playing a regular shift, Tom. Like, I see Emberson getting shifts with the other top 4 guys more consistently than those two being out there on a regular basis or semi-regular basis, because I just can't see it. I think they might have more time for Brown because he's played more NHL games, Tom. If you want but he hasn't played many games in the last month and a bit, and that's a problem. I mean.
And that's a good point, because he didn't skate
He wasn't skating. He was away.
So
Cam Dineen was logging 25 to 30 minutes a night on a Condors team that was desperate. Advantage Cam Dineen.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I think it's pretty telling too that if they do go Cam Dineen, shows you like the big blunder that they did by signing Josh Brown. Again, nothing against Josh Brown. He got offered a deal. He took it.
You take it.
You take it all day. It's not his fault. But again, I think Dineen just gets around better. And I know people are going to bring it up, the physicality, but you got to be able to get there, Tom. You got to be able to catch the players for a hit. You have to have willing guys to drop the mitts with you. That's why I don't think Josh Brown is that big of an impact when it comes to physicality, because he doesn't get around well on the ice, and I don't think he'll get a lot of ice time.
If he plays, which we don't anticipate him playing. We will have your starting lineups brought to you by South Fort Chev when the teams do hit the ice for warm-up at Crypto.com arena. That Oregon was going hard at Crypto.com. DB, good stuff. A couple of texts have been coming in. I want to get to them. Get in on the conversation. We want to hear from you, whether you want to talk about nervousness, excitement, concern, things you like. Just text us. Get it all out there. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Troll texted in and said, when Kuzmenko is your great savior, you are in trouble. The guy ghosts the NHL all the time. Dusty already went through it today. It is basically the same Kings team. And I agree with Dusty. They made a couple of changes. Yes, Edmonton is a step up. Yes, Samuel Hellenius is a bigger body than Blake Lizotte, but Lizotte was feisty. Hellenius looks passive to me from what I've watched. You got Jeff Malott in there. His brother Mike's a USC fighter. He'll dig away. He I'm sure wouldn't shy away from the rough stuff. I still don't think of the Kings as a tough team at all. Like at all, Nanso.
No,
are they big? Yes. Are they skilled? Yes. Can they skate? Yes. To me, that I disagree with Dennis. I think you can bully the LA Kings still.
I think so too, but I do look at, I think goaltending is a check mark for the Kings. I think their decor is a check mark because that comes out. I don't care who's in. Seriously, I don't. If Stetcher's playing, I would say the same thing. Ekholm's a huge loss. And the forward group, the Oilers are always going to win because of two guys.
Right.
And we're going through the lines. I think the top 9 of LA is really good, Tom, just like the Oilers. But that fourth line is like you said, it's not a lot of experience, Tom. like Turcotte, Hellenius, and then the UFC brother guy. Like I know he's a little bit older, but he hasn't played in the NHL a lot, so I think the Oilers got an advantage there. That's why, again, this is even. I probably don't share Dusty's thoughts where he this is not going to be a 4-game, 5-game series, Tom. There's no way. These teams are hella talented, hella very similar. And I just think it's going to be that close. And you guys brought up the special teams like that. That's where it's going to be probably won, Tom. Like the Oilers can get that power play going like they have many times in the last 3-4 years. It's lights out for the Kings, man. It is. And on Kuzmenko, I just want to I don't think anyone's saying he's a savior, but I think he's fit in better than he has in his last 3 teams. And it's been a pleasant surprise, Tom. And he's a guy that can change a game with one shot.
And he's more of a distributor, too. Talking with Dennis when the Kings were here last week, he's like, yeah, he kind of distributes the puck, but he has found ways to score. He almost scored 40 that first year in the NHL with Vancouver. Obviously, things tapered off for Kuzmenko in Calgary and then briefly in Philly. And then now with the LA Kings, like he went the first 7 games as a King with no points. And then he just went on an absolute tear to wind down the season with LA. He's on that top power play unit. Dennis was talking about how that power play got better later in the season. Played 22 games with the Kings this year, Hernan, in the regular season after that trade out of Philly. 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points, plus 6. His numbers to start the year with LA through 37 games, 4 goals, 11 assists, -7 on a feisty Flames team. Gets flipped over to Philly, plays 7 games with the Flyers, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points with a -5. Averaged the most time on ice in Philly on a bad Philly team, 1708. Goes to LA. He's playing 16:31 on average. 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points, plus 6 in 22 games. He's found a bit of a home with the LA Kings, but is Kuzmenko good in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think
the Oilers Kopitar is.
Can counter with that with Frederick because he's a bit of the unknown. We got 7 minutes. In 7 minutes, he was really impressive. But what are we going to see tonight? That's another guy we're watching for. It sounds like he's in because he went off early, Kapanen stayed out late. So this is going to be, this is going to be. I was saying with Dusty, I just don't think this is going to be as easy as some think it will be. I think it's going to be a tough series. This is going 6-7. I'd be shocked, Tom, if it goes 5 or 4. I'd be shocked. Either way.
CB radio guy, I like this. People are all over the map, and I love this. There's a nervousness to it. There's some confidence. There's people who are petrified, and that's the emotion and the beauty of the playoffs. CB radio guy says, why didn't Foegele do this last year? I also don't get the narrative of Oilers losing game 1 and that being a huge deal. LA has all the pressure, win or lose. I don't get this whole series this year. This is nuts. Listening to this, CB radio guy, he's feeling it. He's feeling there's some tension. Foegele had a career year last year. That was his best ever NHL season. Cashed in with LA. Topped last year with his point production, goal production this year, and has been praised universally in and around the LA Kings. Good for him because he is in the prime of his career, got his nice ticket. He's in a great location. He's Mr. LA, and he's in a groove. But he did do this last year. He was good for them. He did end up being a healthy scratch in the playoffs at times, and a couple of years ago, he was a healthy scratch at times in the regular season. But we have seen this Warren Foegele. Not as consistently, I suppose, as the LA Kings got from him this year. But we have seen it. And there's no new tricks with Warren Foegele. Maybe he's just found that consistency, right?
And this is I battle this so much that everybody's worried about the guys that the Oilers let go, like McLeod and Tom. We've been through this. Like majority of the fan base couldn't wait to get rid of McLeod. And guess what? He's not in the playoffs.
And Foegele and CC.
Yes, there is a ton of players. Good on Warren Foegele. He had a career year last year. He has another one this year. He's 29 years old. He's hitting that 30 mark. These are probably going to be his best years. Maybe next year as well. But then the tail off comes, guys. And I don't think Warren Foegele on this team, it's the Oilers are any better or any worse than they were this year, Tom. Like, seriously. Sorry, I don't. He's good for him. He's earned some big money. He's been a good soldier for the LA Kings this year. Good on him. He's probably going to have an excellent series. He wants to beat his former team. Good on him. But let's not lose sight of it, what we were saying last year around this time too, Tom. And you brought up a great point. I totally forgot about it. He was healthy scratched in the playoffs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Now, would I rather have Warren Fogle and Dylan Holloway over Jeff Skinner and Kasperi Kapanen? Or even Victor Arvidsson?
Yeah. For sure.
Yes.
Now,
absolutely.
But at the time, Tom, on July 1st, no one was saying that. And Jeff Skinner and Arvidsson,
bye-bye.
Podkolzin, they weren't producing for the first 5 months of the season. They really turned it on after the Four Nations, and good on them because they're getting hot at the right time, and we'll see what they can do in the playoffs. Because I think, Tom, if Skinner, Arvidsson, all those guys have good playoffs, no one's going to remember the regular season.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. All right. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. I see VR Montenegro over my shoulder. He has arrived. Good to see a large contingent of nasties. There is Lieutenant Eric. Right.
Hey.
Yeah. There he is. Yeah. LTE is here. Dusty's going to swing by after he puts the kids to bed later on. And then we'll also see Hernan here as well. We're live on location. Boston Pizza, Westgate, Game 1, Oilers, and the Kings. Look at that. He's here right now. Get in here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you beautiful, you kissing bandit. You want to come on for a bit? Yeah, get in here, Dusty. Let's get Dusty on here as we roll on. He is early. I love that. That's so good to see Dusty here. All right. We will get to starting lineups when the teams hit the ice for warm-up. And Hernan's getting everything all set up.
Yeah,
sorry, Dusty. I just clipped this. There we go. Turn yourself.
I'll cuddle in with him here.
Very nice. Very nice. We'll get it all sorted up.
Dusty's got to get in a little bit tighter there.
There we go.
Hey, Nanso.
Nice and tight.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, that's a great 3-shot right there. Nice work, Hernan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This guy's a wizard on the board.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm probably the worst.
You made it down here a bit earlier. That's good.
Well, I remember I was like, I got to put my kids to bed and be a good dad.
Yep.
I bailed early.
No.
Yeah, they were going up for bath, and I was just like, I think I might head over. So, yeah.
I'm glad to hear because I said I just saw Lieutenant Eric, and I was pointing out VR Montenegro. A bunch of the nasties are here. And then you just started walking in. I'm like, Dusty is here.
Yeah, I've been here for a bit. I was over there talking with Tony and Curtis and stuff. So, yeah, so we still don't know the lineup, eh?
Not for sure. We're going to wait to get to starting lineups with Game 1.
They should be on the ice here right away.
Yeah, we anticipate them being out on ice. So we had Dennis Bernstein on here. He told us again why he thinks the Kings are going to win.
I heard him saying I was just parking the truck when I heard him say that they were very, very confident that they're going to beat the Edmonton Oilers this year.
I love that, but I don't believe it. And all of the points he made, I go, interesting, but I don't necessarily agree with it. What do you think of what we heard from DB?
I mean, I only heard the first part of it. Probably know where the rest of it was headed. Like I don't know, man. That's like I think there's a chance here tonight. I know Cass was talking about a little bit, but if they can roll in tonight, and win Game 1 would go a long way. But if they can roll in tonight and roll in Game 1, I'm not going to say that's the series. But considering the Kings' history with the Oilers, the fact they lost in 7, lost in 6, lost in 5. This is supposed to be their year to beat the Oilers. I don't know if they're going to go any further than that. To me, if the Oil can come in tonight and win 5-2 going away, series over. I'll just say it. The Kings.
Come on.
They're no. Honestly, you don't think it? No way. Look, man, it could still go 6. But I'm telling you, if the Oilers roll in Game 1 tonight. How are the Kings supposed to mentally overcome that when this is the same team that's kicked your ass 3 years in a row?
Because they got Stanley Cup winners that they're not. You think Kopitar and Doughty get rattled by that? I don't.
But that's it. Those are the only two guys.
Kemper.
And those guys are. Oh, Kemper, please. I mean, Hernan, you could have been in net for Colorado and won that Stanley Cup for goodness sakes.
But yeah.
No, but Stuart Skinner could have. Yep. If Stuart Skinner was in net for Colorado the year they won the Cup, they still would have won the Cup. Now he would have been 20 at the time, but whatever. I think if they convincingly win game one, I think it's an absolutely devastating blow for the Los Angeles Kings, because they're a team that, I mean, you mentioned their Stanley Cup, abilities from years past. Where was that the last 3 years? Kopitar won cup the last year. I mean, so the bottom line is, go ahead, Nazo.
So if LA wins tonight, let's say 5-2, is it the same? They're in the Oilers.
Not even close.
I don't think it rattles the Oilers at all.
No, but the Oilers aren't the team that's lost 3 years in a row to these guys. If the Oilers lose tonight, they're like, okay, we'll go try to get game 2, get a split, and you're still ahead of the game going home. If you're the Kings team who has lost 3 consecutive years to the same team, you've got home ice. Your record on home ice is unbelievable. Yep. You've changed your goaltender this year. You've added a couple of guys, but not that many. You're supposed to win at home tonight. You're the favorite tonight. If the Oilers come in, if they squeak one out, series on, for the Oilers, if they win in overtime or something, it's on. But if the Oilers, and I'm not saying they will, in fact, I don't expect them to, but if they were to somehow win convincingly tonight, that is cutting off one of the legs of the Los Angeles Kings in game 1, in my opinion.
Yeah, Cass called it creating doubt.
Yeah, he said it in maybe a little bit more professional fashion. I'm like, series is over if they win. But I honestly, to me, if the Kings beat the Oilers tonight, it's like cutting them off just above the ankle. If the Oilers beat the Kings in game 1 in Los Angeles, it's at the hip. It's
limb.
Cutting off an entire limb.
Yeah.
So I wonder, do McDavid and they must realize how much damage they can do to them mentally if they come out and pump them tonight. So
McDavid yesterday, this is what stood out to me, Dustin, about his demeanor in his press conference. And I think we talked about it a bit on the Oil Stream earlier in the day, but he wasn't dismissive, but he's like, we know this team. We know the Kings. Yes. They're not that different.
They're not that different.
And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, this is a guy that knows that he has the Kings in his hip pocket.
Yeah.
And he's got his guy riding shotgun with him, and Leon Draisaitl, same thing. And then you got Hyman and Nugent Hopkins. They know they can beat the Kings. In their mind, they're better than the Kings.
Well, they are. They would have been if these guys weren't hurt for the last 3.5 weeks as well. They would have caught them and passed them, and this game would be in Edmonton tonight. So, they should be extremely confident against this team. Hopefully not to the point where they're just all loosey-goosey and not taking them seriously in game 1. I think the mindset over the last little while has been to get healthy. And when you have that mindset, if you are healthy to start game 1, then it's okay, Let's time. Go. And with the Kings and Kemper, and we laid out the numbers for some of these other guys, but think about this. For the 4th season in a row, or 3rd season, I guess, in a row, it was Quick's not going to get it done, change the goalie. Oh, no, you know what? Korpisalo's not going to get it done, change the goalie. Talbot's not going to get it done. Change the goalie.
Yep.
Now they brought in Darcy Kemper. Why should we expect anything different?
I don't.
I don't know what his contract situation is like, but I'm assuming the Oilers will eliminate them and they'll go get a different goalie. So same old.
The rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Dusty, a lot of people are asking if you've been drinking.
No, I have not had a single drink.
Okay.
No, I got here. I don't even have a drink. I haven't even ordered a drink. I'm just coming in. I'm coming in drunk on reality. And the reality here is the Edmonton Oilers are going to take it to the Kings.
You know who doesn't agree with you, and you'll be
Shaggy
shocked.
and St. Albert.
Shaggy and St. Albert.
No way. What a shock.
I don't even have the chat up, and I know exactly what Shaggy and St. Albert's saying right now.
Oh my goodness.
Now, with that being said, without echo, maybe they get swept. No, I have to.
Get off the fence, man. I'm just kidding. By the way, you know what else you got coming? A poutine.
Oh God. So I had a meeting today at Joey.
Yes.
Which I never understand why it's just called Joey.
That part's weird.
Yeah. I'm always just like, you want to say I'm going to Joey's? I'm going to Joey. Yeah. So I went to Joey today, had a little lunch, and then I went home. No, I had the Cajun chicken sandwich.
That's good too.
It was a regular chicken sandwich, but I even flip in the Cajun, the blackened chicken. It was good. Then I went home and had a nap. And then I got up from my nap and I came upstairs and the family was eating leftover Thanksgiving dinner. Oh. And I was like, damn. So I had to have a turkey bun before I came. So I'm not sure if I'll be that poutine was, I don't know if they made a bigger poutine for us. Maybe. Because there was 2 of us and they assumed we'd share it. But I might hop into we'll see. That was the order that we got at the Clairview one. It was pretty big. I couldn't take that down tonight. So
I'll order one because I owe you one.
Quick update. Canadians have tied it at 2. Nick Suzuki.
Did they tie it?
Yeah.
I watched them get the first one.
And Winnipeg's up 2-1 in the third.
I saw that goal too.
4 games on the sked tonight.
Wow, the Habs have tied it.
That's crazy.
Holy
Good
smokes.
for them. Lieutenant Eric's here. You're here. Hernan's coming down. Trev has a whole table. Got a whole bunch
Trev
of
has a table?
He reserved a table, yeah.
For himself?
I don't know. Maybe him and some friends.
Maybe he just doesn't want to sit with any of us.
Oh,
so he got a whole table. I don't know. Was Reed coming by?
No,
I don't think so.
Oh,
he said he wants to focus and take notes, so he needs
smart
to
thinking. Yeah. He is that guy, right? When he watches a game, man.
And we'll be debuting Reed's Reed.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's going to be on post game as well. Yeah,
by the Garrison Memorial golf course, which is going to be fantastic. Nice element to add all playoffs long. Dusty, okay, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, good. Hernan, I'll save you a seat. Remember, you asked me to save you. That's why I got here early. I got to save you a seat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ask Tom.
All right. See you, boys.
I will. Dusty Nielsen, host of the Nielsen Show every day, Monday to Friday. Actually, he hosts a lot of shows on our station. There he goes. He's ready.
He's crazy
for
man.
game 1.
He's crazy.
He's loco, SA.
I like how he said it's over if the Oilers.
That was good. He just came in with the fire.
Elliot Friedman's reporting. This is not big news. Trent Frederick is on the ice for warm-ups. That's all we have so far.
Yeah, we'll get the lines, and then we will fire those your way. And the lines, of course, are always brought to you by our good friends over at South Fort Chevrolet. Get to the nasty chat. Text us, 780-218-9999. Mike from Calgary says, welcome back, Nanso. Jason in Leduc says, Oilers win tonight 4-1 and go 1 to sweep the series. Coach Mike says, Oilers take game 1 and the series is over? How can Stauffer be in 2 places at once? Then again, I'll take it. Oil in 4, LFG, Coach Mike. Nicely done. Coach Mike, I like it. What else do we have here? Corey B says, watch your mouth, Bernstein, in regard to DB joining us earlier. Is Wheels here? He is here. Latif. Oh, and he's talking to Trev. This is an EST moment. Mike, Montenegro, get out of the way. Oh, he's listening. Get out of the way. Look at this. There's Wheels and there's Trevor together. Wow. Hug it out.
The beef is over.
Hug it out. Stay there. Hug it out. You stay there. I want to see a hug or a handshake. Let's go. This is it. It's happening right now. Oh, yeah, there we go. They are friends again. There, you've seen it. They bridged the divide. Atif and YouTube Trev. That was great. That was awesome.
Tommy,
all right.
Quickly, Landeskog is a scratch. He took the warm-ups, but he's a scratch tonight. So,
okay, that noteworthy because they made a big deal of him heading out on the ice for warm-up. Yeah. So clearly, he did play 2 games with the Colorado Eagles, and then he is not good to go just yet. All right, we'll get you updated on things down at crypto.com. Arena, good, really good viewership right now, listenership always very strong here on EST. We thank you so much for joining us. If it's your first time checking out our station, welcome. This is your clear choice for Edmonton sports for a reason. And we like to have a lot of fun when we take the show on the road. We'll be on location, just like we are tonight. Tonight, it's Boston Pizza Westgate on 170th Street and 90th Avenue. And then for Game 2, we will be at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Game 3 and 4, Ice House, the Canadian Ice House in Ice District. Game 5 will be at Hudson's White Avenue. Game 6, back at Ice House. Game 7, if necessary, TBD, likely a Boston Pizza. We have a ton of giveaways tonight. We've got these Oilers dad hats, the corduroy dad hats, brought to you by Molson. We have a bunch of those, courtesy of Tony and Curtis and the staff here. We've got the playoff T-shirts in Oilers orange, 16 wins to glory with the Molson there. They want to see a Canadian team win a Stanley Cup again. And then the grand prize, we've got a couple of these Hockey Night in Canada jerseys that we're going to be giving away. Those are really nice as well. A bit of a throwback with the laces on the collar. $25 gift certificates to Boston Pizza as well. We give those away in the intermission. You get a drink, you get a ticket, you're in the draw What you don't need to buy to get into is the Twin Anchors houseboat that's happening here at Boston Pizza Westgate, the Hamptons location, as well as Bourbon Street. It's from now until May 4th. Every customer gets an entry. No purchase is necessary. And you get a trip on a houseboat with Twin Anchors and Boston Pizza. Fantastic. They do a great job taking care of their patrons that come down to BP. And we are so happy to be a partner with them and to have them as part of our station and to be able to do this. So we're going to have a lot of fun during the postseason. Hopefully it's a long run. We're going to be out and about doing this and giving away a lot of great prizes. And we want to provide you with some good entertainment and some good discussion. And that's part of what we do here at EST. Okay, 4 games on the schedule tonight in the National Hockey League as round 1 is in full swing. We're still waiting for Tampa and Florida to get going. That happens crazy. Tomorrow. I know. It's absolutely insane. The fact that this game took 3 days to happen is crazy too. Speaking of twos, Deuce is on the board. Habs and Caps. 1:40 left in the third period. That one looks like it might be headed to OT. St. Louis trails Winnipeg 2-1. 8 minutes left in the third. There you got the Avalanche and the Stars. That gets going right away, or has gotten going. And you got the Oilers and the Kings. That's going to get going very soon as well. All right, Nan, so do we have official lines just yet?
We got nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. What the hell's going on here? I keep scrolling the good old Twitter machine and all the media that's down there in LA, because we know a lot of them.
Yes.
Nothing coming. The only thing Elliot Friedman has is Frederick is on the ice for warm-ups. So,
okay. Well,
as soon as, we got about 6 minutes left here, Tom. As soon as, if in the next 6 minutes I get lines, I'll let you know.
Well, okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give you anticipated lines. We will update them as we move along here, because I'm assuming we'll get some certainties as well when it comes to who is in on defense for the Oil. Is it going to be Brown? Is it going to be Dineen? We think it's going to be Dineen. We've been told to expect Dineen. We'll see if that is a go for sure.
And with that, we got lines.
Okay, there you go. Let me read the liner, and then I'll fire it to you, and you can take it away. Starting lineups brought to you, as always, by Southport Chev. Buy now and save 0% financing, OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s. It's that time of year again for your seasonal tire change service. You got to do that now. It's getting warmer. Those winter tires, the rubber compound soft, they'll melt. They're doing a special price. If you mention that EST sent you, receive an on-rim tire change for $59.95 plus tax. Great deal there. They're also giving a big discount on inspections when you get your tires changed. See dealer for details, www.southportchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot at Southport Chev. Hernan, the Latino Heat Salas. Please enlighten us.
It's going to be Hyman with McDavid and Connor Brown. Draisaitl will center Victor Arvidsson and Vasily Podkolzin. RNH will center Jeff Skinner and Trent Frederick. Your fourth line is Adam Henrique, Corey Perry, and Matthias Janmark. Defensively, Nurse with Bouchard, Kulak with Wallman, Emberson with Josh Brown, Skinner between the pipes. There you have it, folks.
Yeah, Josh Brown is in. Not a good decision. I'll just call it right now. We'll see how much they shelter him. We were told to anticipate Cam Dineen getting in there. That is not the case. Brown is in. If I'm the LA Kings, Hernan, I am isolating him any chance you get.
100%.
That is a poor. I'll say I don't really throw the knives out there that much, but that, in my opinion, is a poor decision with the roster. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, but I don't like it.
We'll see what his minutes are. We'll see. I mean, he's obviously going to be on the PK. Probably he'll get some shifts there. I can't see him having a regular shift, Tom. I just can't.
Yeah.
And he gets caught out there against one of those top two lines. Ooh, it's going to be trouble.
Yeah. I think that was a mistake. We'll see if I'm wrong. Hopefully I am, if you're an Oiler fan. But Josh Brown looks like he will play tonight. I say this because if you're going, what the hell are you talking about, Tom? He's big. He's been in the league a long time. He's physical. Sure. But he has missed a full month of hockey and actually skating He wasn't good in the 2 games he played. And I think this creates a weakness on the Oilers' blue line in a spot that was already very soft. And that was the third pairing. So that's just my opinion, my take. I could be wrong. They might not play him a ton. If I'm the Kings and I'm seeing Josh Brown out there, I'm licking my chops. I'm saying, Kempe, go get him. I'm saying, Quentin Byfield, go down number 44's side. You're going to get by him, no problem with your speed. If I'm looking at Warren Foegele, I'm going, Brown's out there. I'm putting my top line out there. I'm putting my fastest skaters out there. I'm using set plays and pieces, and I'm isolating him. And that could be trouble for the Edmonton Oilers. Just saying. Don't love it. Hopefully it doesn't bite them in the butt. As for the LA Kings tonight, here is how they are rolling things out. Andrei Kopitar between Andrei Kuzmenko and Adrian Kempe. Quentin Byfield between Kevin Fiala and Alex Laferriere. Philip Deneau between Warren Foegele and Trevor Moore. Samuel Helenius between Jeff Malott and Alex Turcotte. On defense, Mikey Anderson paired up with Drew Doughty. Vladislav Gavrikov with Jordan Spence. Joel Edmondson with Brant Clark. Out for the Kings, Akil Thomas, Kyle Burrows, and Jacob Moverare. In goal tonight, like you heard Hernan mention, Stu Skinner, the 26-year-old, 19-15 with a .283 goals against average, .894 save percentage, 1 shutout in 35 career playoff games. Skinner lifetime versus the Kings in the postseason, 7-3 record, .303 goals against average, .899 save percentage, 1 shutout in those 11 games played versus LA. At the other end of the rink, 34-year-old Darcy Kemper, 17-10. There we go. We got the clappers going. We're going to be giving those away tonight as well. Thank you, Dusty and Tony. Darcy Kemper, 17-10 playoff record, .272 goals against average, .908 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 34 career playoff games. Kemper has faced the Oilers in the playoffs, 1 appearance. It was on that cup run with Colorado. He only played in game 1. He got an ice shower, and he got bits of ice in his eye. Had to miss the rest of the series. They swept with Pavel Francouz between the pipes against the Oilers. So the record is 0-0 for Kemper against Edmonton in the postseason. 659 goals against average, .812 save percentage in that lone appearance versus the Oil. That brings us to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report. It's golf season, so you may not swing like Tiger, but at least you don't have to feel like you wrestled one. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. Here it is for the Oilers. Troy Stetcher still here in Edmonton, day-to-day undisclosed. Matthias Ekholm, lower body, out for this round at least. John Klingberg, he is dealing with a lower body issue. Alec Regula, knee, Evander Kane, LTIR to basically for the entirety of the season. Abdominal surgery, knee surgery. I think he is very close to playing. A little bit surprised he's not playing tonight. As for the LA Kings, just a lone injury. Tanner Jeannot listed as day-to-day undisclosed. Hernan Salas, we got a couple minutes left. What say you?
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be tight. It's going to be physical. Let's go, Tommy. This is what we've worked for all years. Another long playoff run, buddy. It all starts tonight. We'll see you on the post. Well, I'll see you in a bit, but you know what I mean. Everybody will join for the post-game show, and I hope it's a happy one, Tommy.
Woo. A couple of texts to close things out. RBM says, Josh Brown will take not 1, but 2 stupid penalties tonight. Sean says Josh Brown got put out there for game 1 to hurt someone, then sit out the rest of the series. Go B Squad. That text from Sean. Woo! Troll I'll throw in as a bonus says, what are the odds Brown takes a dumb penalty or 2 that costs them? Higher than most players, Troll. Higher than most players. A huge thank you to Dennis Bernstein, our LA Kings insider, for joining us from Crypto.com Arena. Then big thank you to Dusty Nielsen for hopping on for a bit. Also, a huge thank you to everybody who watched and listened. If you're new to EST, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. We are your clear choice for Edmonton sports. For the Latino Heat, Hernan Salas, and our game analyst, Matt Kassian, I am Tom Gazzola, live on location at Boston Pizza Westgate, saying, come on down, join some friends, make some new ones, take advantage of the game day specials and the prizes we will be giving away here tonight. We're going to be on location all playoffs long. Let's see if we're in for a long run. Join us on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show following the Oilers and the Kings. For Hernan and Matt, I'm Tom, saying see you after the game.